Hello, everybody. Welcome to the show. Please welcome Mr. Mike Rapson to Raw Babes. I will typically introduce and say everything about him, but I want to do it differently today because I feel Mike's story is so badass, and I don't want to give any of it away. As you guys can see already, his in his badass studio, the Non Negotiable, and I'm not telling you guys anything more. So, without further ado, please welcome Mike. Thank you so much for taking this time to be on the show. We'll talk a little bit later about how we met and all the things, but let's dive deep into you.
Awesome. Thanks for having me, Kristen. It's
Yeah,
too bad we had to cancel last week. I guess there's more of a story with that too later.
I
Um,
can't wait.
but yeah, no, no, thanks for having me on. Yeah, like how we met was awesome. Like meant to be that we all met, massive group of people, badass people.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, no, I guess my story is sort of unique to say the least.
Fuck.
Yeah, like, I don't know where you want me to start.
Let's
I grew
go
up in the
way back. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I grew up just outside of Toronto. Actually, I was born in Scarborough, which is in Toronto, like so many kids. And then we moved east, like east out of the city because it started to get a little shitty and I guess somewhat dangerous. My dad was a Toronto cop, so we moved east. Grew up,
Okay.
loved playing hockey. I was one of those kids that absolutely hated school,
Yeah.
like absolute despised going to school outside of like gym class and playing with my friends.
Yeah.
And then yeah, hockey was pretty much my outlet all the way up till I was 20. Um, and then growing up, I always wanted to be a cop, so that was the route I took. Um, After school, I guess post secondary college, I think I was done college at like 19. Like there wasn't, no, I didn't do grade 13 because that's gone now. So I went right
Grade
into
13. I was like,
college.
what? It's grade
Yeah, I remember
13?
OACs. Well, I'm an 84, so I don't know how old you are, but they got rid of grade 13, I think, like the year after I finished school.
Okay. I'm 86.
Okay, so yeah, you probably didn't even have the option
No.
to do what is it, OAC they called it, or whatever the term was, to go back and play sports or whatever, like an extra year. I didn't do that.
Okay.
I went right to college and took police foundations, and that was 2 years, and I became a cop right away out of college at 21.
I have a quick question.
Yeah,
When you were young, like when did you know that you wanted to be a cop? Like where did that all of a sudden come in for you?
before I even have memory of it, my grandma, or I called her Noni, so she would talk about that I always wanted to be a cop like my dad. And
Okay.
apparently at 4, that's what everyone said. Like I was always talking about it, sort of like my son, which I'm trying to get him into different ideas for a
Open it up
career.
a little.
Yeah, yeah. So no, my whole life growing up, again, if your dad's a cop, like it's cool, right? Everyone's like, oh, that's so cool. And then you hear cop stories. They're sort
Yes.
of PG when you're younger, but as you get older, you start hearing the even crazier stories. And so yeah, I always wanted to be a cop. It's in me. It's who I am. Like when I played hockey, I was like the fighter on the team or protecting my teammates. You know, breaking up fights or fucking dealing with bullies in school. Like that was sort of my thing. Like I hate bullies. I think bullies need to be bullied, if that makes sense, or dealt with, and that's just my thing. I love it. Even still,
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with speaking up if you need to. Well, clearly,
Clearly.
clearly.
Love it. Okay.
So yeah, growing up was yeah, hockey guy turned into a cop. Your typical jock cop, I guess. And
Yeah.
then obviously, now I'm married with 2 kids, and my career sort of ended sooner than it should have. But I'm actually glad it did happen. I said it on a couple other podcasts the last few weeks. Everything that happened, I am so happy and thankful that it did, in a demented way, because I think some people still need to be dealt with
Yeah.
for what they did to us and our country and the world, and dividing everybody and making people feel like they were alone. And yeah, no, but I'm like, we met all met you guys, met Sarah Swain. It's just like the amount of people who we've met and the opportunities that we've gotten
Yeah.
from speaking out, and just leap of faith. And fucking, I'm happy.
Yeah, it's cool, right? Let's go back a
Amazing.
little. Let's go back a little bit to like your job, your career as a cop. Like you love it. It's you love what you do every day. You go to work, you do your thing. And then let's go into like what happened from that that place.
I love most of the job.
Okay.
I loved hunting down bad guys. I never did like the traffic stuff or like the fucking, I shouldn't say useless. The jobs where we don't really even need them. They just hide in the office and do nothing and collect a paycheck. So I loved just going out hunting bad guys. I did time in our canine unit, which all you did was go to all the hot calls meaning like the higher priority, like violent calls, hunt down bad guys. And then my next unit was more of like an undercover style, like old clothes surveillance. You knew who the bad guys were already, and you would just surveil them, depending if they're a murderer or an armed robber or whoever, whatever they are, a terrorist. You'd watch them for weeks or months or years for some of them, and then you would take them down with like the SWAT team and at the end of the day. So that was a fucking fun job because it was like no one knew you were there, and then all of a
Yeah.
sudden you had all your gear on, and you're either like tackling them or smashing into their car or with your car, well, work car at
Wow.
least. Yeah, that shit was fun. The politics of policing made it more unsafe than it needs to be, if I
Okay.
can describe it that way. So, but yeah, most of policing, or shouldn't say, a lot of it was a lot of fun, and there was also a lot of it that was fucking terrible.
I have a question.
Yeah.
So, you're talking about like months and years, and you're just like observing, watching, and doing all the things. What was the longest kind of experience for you that you had to wait and just watch?
Oh man. Well, we worked some files for years, but some of those were boring. They were like really high end drug files
Mm-hmm.
where like drugs are coming in from across the ocean, and those some of them were boring. I'm not gonna lie. There were some that were like completely insane and fun, and
Yeah.
those are the best ones where like the guys are violent and you have to like insert yourself into the city, like in the shittier areas of the city where like I don't belong. So I'd have to
Yes.
like I grew my beard out. It was just outrageous, just trying to look as trashy as I could. It's the only way to fit in, right? Or I used to have costumes and certain trades, outfits that would get me into places that these bangers didn't know who I was. They thought I was actually like a maintenance guy or something.
That's so
So
crazy.
yeah, that shit was fun.
That goes to like that's the
Yeah.
extremes. It's the shit that you don't even think of, and you like look over your shoulder and there's your undercover right there.
Oh yeah, it was fun. You used to just get in really, really close to bad guys, and it was the best because didn't have a clue that I was a cop,
Yeah.
and they were actually like our target. So I'd been following them for months already. And if you do your job right, they don't ever know who you are until poof, you're going to fucking jail.
Do they ever
So
like interact with you, or would they ever talk with you?
yep, oh yeah, yeah. But at that point, I'm just nobody, right? As
Yeah,
long as I'm doing my job right. It's rare to get in that tight with people, but I had some pretty unique outfits that I could wear. I won't say because I don't want to give up secrets
of
for the
course.
guy for the guys still working. But
Yeah.
yeah, if I would love to tell you some of the stuff that we do, it was
Oh
so much
man.
fun. Yeah, I'll tell you off mic. I can tell you stuff, but
Cool.
yeah,
That's so cool. Yeah,
yeah,
I'm so interested in all that because it's like a fucking movie. Here we are, living your life, and then it's like another scene going on that nobody has any idea about. I love it.
yeah, yeah. There's like that's the
Like,
fun shit. Then there's the horrible stuff like the death and just the
oh yeah.
shitty things you see. That's obviously shitty, but someone's got to
Yeah.
do it, right?
Yeah.
And I hope that now that I'm out and now that I'm a little bit more aware of how fucked up it is, what you see or what you saw or what I saw, you just got to talk about it. I'm pretty good with being open with Jen now, but there was a point where I was absolutely not,
Okay.
right? So,
Yeah.
but
And it's
when
like
you're
you're
deep in
holding
it,
on.
oh yeah, you just bury it because it's so fucked up, right? You're just like, I don't want to like, why would I talk about this? And then you either you retire or quit, or well, in my case, I quit. Um, it's just different now. I got better towards the end, but it's still like most dudes, or even the ladies, like they just bury it, right? All the bad
Yeah.
shit you see.
Do you do anything for support for yourself, or did you instead of burying it?
Uh, uh, I did talk to a few people, like
Yeah.
therapists or psychologists, whatever you want to call them. I didn't really like it because I'm like, you don't even know what I'm talking about. Like
Yeah.
it was tough. It was like you would confide more in like your really close buddies who do the same thing. Like I got better at that at the end,
Okay.
right? I don't like. I guess people have their way of dealing with shit. Like I would go to the gym, or there was
Yeah.
times where it was bad and I would drink, right?
Okay.
Where you just like you're like, you know what, this is so fucked up. I'm just gonna get completely shit faced and forget about it.
Yeah.
And I did that probably too many times,
Okay.
right? But yeah, for the most part, I'm good now.
Yeah, it's
you
still
know,
heavy. Like this is the part I'm glad we're talking about this. This is the part of the job that people don't get to see or hear or witness. And it's like you almost become numb to seeing really fucked up things. Like that's normal to you. And like
yeah,
almost.
yeah, it definitely does. Like I'm laughing now only because it's fucked. But like I remember going to scenes where someone had like hung themselves
Wow.
and they're making like weird noises because they're dead already, and then you're trying to save them from doing CPR. This is really morbid. Let me know if I should
No,
stop.
no,
But
no, this is
but
let's
like, yeah, like you're sitting there like next to a dead person because the coroner's got to come, and like you just start cracking jokes with like your partner, and just like, and it's so fucking offside, but you're trying to make something that's completely fucked,
mm,
like so completely gross and fucked in the smell and everything, and like I've eaten a sub like right next to dead people, like
wow.
because I'm just like like you do get to a point where you're just completely so checked out,
Yeah.
at a lot of scenes for sure. Like the kid stuff, you can never get over stuff. That shit's fucked.
Oh
But
man.
um, yeah,
Wow. It's like I can tell when you're talking about it, you're getting like flashes and images of
hmm.
certain scenes.
Yeah, kid stuff's tough because you can see right now. That
Yeah.
shit's hard, but
Oh,
it's all
wow.
right. So go to the
No, but
gym, go lift some
yeah.
weights,
But
right?
also
And
also feel it too, because it's like it's here. It's real. It's something
yeah,
that we have to acknowledge.
oh for sure. Like there's, the death stuff was probably what got me the most. Kid
Yeah.
stuff,
Yeah.
yeah, like I went to a homicide scene where a husband like just beat the fuck out of his wife, and hung her in the garage. And I remember the kid came and saw me trying to save their mother, and they were just staring at me. There's two of them. They were like 7. So
Wow.
I'm standing over their dead mother, and I remember yelling at them saying, "Get out of the garage!" And I've always felt bad because I yelled at them. I'm like, "You guys can't
Oh,
see
okay.
this, right?" But it was just me at the house, and this fucking dead
Yes.
lady, and the scumbag husband was in the kitchen pretending he hadn't done it. It was terrible. It was so fucked. But those stuff like that is just, it's
Oh my
just
God.
shitty,
It is.
right?
It
Yeah,
is. Fuck. That's deep. That's a
yeah,
lot
it's
to. It
yeah.
is.
But it's easier. Like, I mean, there's points where I couldn't even tell you that story,
Yeah.
right? So now, like, I've talked about it. Like, Jen knows most of the stories, the bad
Yeah.
stuff at least, right?
Yeah.
And it gets easier talking about it, which
Yeah.
most of the guys don't ever do. Like, we're tough, and or you just, who knows? Maybe if you absolutely despise your wife, you're not going to tell her,
Yeah.
right? Or if you don't have anybody who's close, or you're not worried about being vulnerable with, right? Like I'm an open book now. Like now that
Yeah.
I'm sort of out there now in the world, I don't really. It's easier now for sure.
Yeah. Well, good for you. That's huge.
Thank you.
So let's yeah, and like thank you for all that you've done. And it's like, you've imprinted in a lot of people's lives and risked your own life and for your own family, your kids. It's a big thing. And we don't get to see this side of, what it looks like for police officers and people in that industry. So I'm grateful that we're able to dive a little bit deeper into that knowing and have a little bit more compassion and respect for the job.
Yeah, I know
Thank
it's
you.
tough. It's especially after the last bunch of years, like the cops that are mad at me for speaking up against the mandates and being hard on them in terms of like the uniform as after what happened in Ottawa.
Yeah.
Like it's tough, man, because the crowd in Ottawa, I can guarantee you, was probably the biggest supporters when all the BLM protests were happening, right? When the fake racism and all that shit, right? So it's
Yeah.
tough, man. Like I was mad at the uniform, That's
Yeah.
fucking bad, right? When you
Yeah.
have arguably your biggest network of supporters, right, that are now also mad at police. It's like, fuck. I could see it coming. I knew it was coming. I could feel it coming. I was mad at my uniform, and I
Yeah.
was one, right? And
Yeah. So
yeah, it's a shitty job.
let's go there. What year was that when all of it started to happen? 2019?
So 2020 at the start was when we started to hear about people eating bat soup or something, and then it quickly turned into mandates in like 2021, and it went all the way through. Sorry, all the way through 2020, then 2021, and then 2020 is when I left. But yeah, so it's 2021 and 22 are fucking long years. Holy
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah. So it was 2020 that you threw in the towel.
No, 2022.
Oh, 2022.
Yeah, so I was on patrol when COVID hit and everybody started talking about it. And then I went into a break and enter unit. Um, sorry, like mid 2021 until I quit January 1st of 22.
Okay.
So I was a cop for about 2 years of the COVID nonsense.
The vid. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
The
The flu.
pandemic. Yeah,
Yeah,
the flu.
exactly.
That's
It's such
exactly
it's such bullshit. I remember posting like, and when I was still working, I was very vocal. I just didn't have like it wasn't landing. Like when I left and I made that like "fuck you, I'm quitting" post with my uniform, and it went completely mental. But I was yelling the same shit while I was a cop. It just didn't land. Like I guess when you do something in your uniform or a photo of it, it just landed bigger. But I
the
wish it landed while I was still there because I was fucking Jen and I were both very, very vocal on our social media while we were still in it.
yeah.
But yeah, unfortunately, like again, who knows it? Like there's a wasn't many cops in Canada that spoke up, like Danny, a couple others, but like not enough, right?
No.
Aaron Howard is a Durham one that spoke up. She got her PP slap for doing that. But yeah,
So that was the day. It was January 1st and you just was like that's it. I'm not going to be told what to put into my body.
yeah,
Fuck you all. I'm done.
yeah. I like Jen and I decided when they were pressuring her at the hospital to take it. That's where we started to really like when the vaccine first came out. We're like, I don't know. Like we're like we already think this is stupid, so we're probably not going to take it. Like we're not afraid of this. We're not afraid of it for our kids. Like Jen was a pediatric nurse, and she didn't
Okay.
take care of a single child the entire time that had complications with COVID. So we're like, this is fucked. Our kids aren't.
Right.
We're not worried. Our kids never wore masks at school. We were those parents. We didn't allow it. And come mid 21, Jen was told she was going to be fired. And we had just got licensed as real estate agents because we have our own investments. So,
Wow.
like the plan or the idea of us getting licensed only popped up because we were drunk playing Yahtzee on New Year's Eve of 2021 to 22. No, sorry, 2020 to 21. So yeah, we got licensed like really fast. We were like super motivated, only more because we were like very competitive. And I'm like, fuck you, I got this mark on the exam. And she's like, fuck you, I got this, right?
I love
So
that.
we're racing to get licensed as fast as we can, only more because we're competitive and just to buy and sell our own shit. Like we wanted to buy more and sell more and like of our own properties.
Yeah.
And then fucking licensed August. And then in September, Jen's told she's going to be fired. And like it was October, November, I had done one too many tests, like the little fucking nose swab, just so I can show up to work,
Yeah.
right? And fucking maybe get shot at. Like how fucking stupid is that? Like
Oh my God.
you think I'm worried about a flu bug when the rest of you donkeys who took the I shouldn't say that. That's actually sort of mean. All the rest of you people that took the fucking jab, you're all getting COVID still. So what the fuck am I taking a test for?
Right.
And everyone knew it at this point. None of this was a secret or like a fucking conspiracy anymore. It was real. So I just remember I'm like, this is so fucked. I'm not dying for this job anymore. I remember telling Jen on the couch, I'm like, she's like, I'm quitting. Or she goes, I'm getting fired. I'm like, well, I'm quitting because I can't fucking do this. I'm not dying for this job. I refuse to die for this job. And such a divided society, I refuse to fucking die for this. And
Wow.
that's when I knew I'm like, I'm not, I was so anxious to get out. Even when I handed in my papers and like notified everybody that I was quitting. Like every day I was like, I can't be here. Something bad's gonna happen. I'm gonna get fucking killed. Something bad's gonna happen. I shouldn't be here. I can't be here. I'm not dying for this. That's every day I just thought that. And
Wow.
then, I handed in my gun and my badge. And it was actually so weird. One of my best friends, Eli, he was driving me around the last day where I handed in my gun and my badge and handed in my work cell phone and all this stuff. And he was like so weirded out at how calm I was. He was
Wow.
like devastated, fucking devastated, like one of my best friends. And
Yeah.
I was just like, I'm like, I felt so at peace. I'm like, I am done with this. I can't
Yeah.
fucking be here anymore. I'm gonna fucking crush it in a different career. Jen's gonna crush it. We're good. Fuck guaranteed income. Fuck the government. It's all bullshit. It's so it's so fucked up. Our system's so fucked up. When you like work for them, and then you get out, you're like, you're all fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Right? It's just
Wow.
it's so political. It's nothing's done for the right reason, and it's
Yeah.
just once you're out, man, fuck, it feels good.
It's like being in an abusive relationship. It's like being in that
Yeah.
with the abuser and you don't see it until you're out of it. And like you can start to see it at the end when you've woken up. Like your mask just totally came right off and you were just like, okay, I can see this for exactly what it is. And like a lot of the things, like, how you were saying, like donkey and all that sort of stuff. And like you've got your emotions, you're feeling all the feelings. And it's like, that's just how deeply fearful people were made to feel. They were so on such a low vibration that their own cognitive thinking wasn't present anymore. All it was fight or flight. And I have no choice. That's why people were lining up outside of fucking like movie theaters and clinics all to get
Yes.
this.
Yeah, soccer right across from my gym. It's the worst. Like I went to work out every day at our CrossFit gym in Stouffville, and right across the street, soccer dome was full time fucking jab center
Just
drive through.
pumping.
Right, and you're right. Like one of my biggest messages when we started non-negotiable was I sort of spoke to the people who were almost like calling for people that were jabbed to like get sick, and like they were laughing. I'm like, you guys are fucked. I'm like, you're not on my team. I'm like, if you in any way are wishing harm on like our fucking people because they made a choice because they were fucking mind fucked,
Yeah.
then you're not on my fucking team. Don't buy our stuff. And I've said that a few times. I don't want you wearing my shit. You don't represent what we're about.
Right.
Right. So no, you're right. It was such a psychological warfare, and like people who I know that full blown fought in like the Afghan war believed in this shit. Were okay with mandates. Some of
Wow.
them,
Yeah.
right? So it's like, how mind fucked were you?
That's
Someone who's
right.
fought for full blown freedom,
Yes.
right? Been a cop, fucking involved in shootings, all the fucking wild shit, and these people are full blown afraid a fucking flu bug. So I'm like, what world am I living in? I'm like, and I was getting super, I wouldn't say cocky at the end. I'm like, listen, I'd be talking to people heated, and I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm a cop. I was working on patrol at the start of COVID. I have access to what calls come in, whether it's medical calls or whatever calls. No spike in medical calls. My wife's a nurse. There isn't a motherfucking couple that knows more than we do, or like it would either be two doctors or honest doctors, right? Like, so if people
Right.
like us are screaming something,
Yeah.
like, guys, please step
Listen.
back and look and realize that what they're telling you is fucking lies,
Yeah.
right? And then the people would be like, well, why? Why are they lying? I'm like, isn't that a fucking scary question,
Yeah.
right? I don't have the answer to that, but yeah, no, it was such a fucked up couple of
It's,
years.
yeah, it really was. And for me, this is, what I talk about and spirituality side and all this sort of stuff. It's like we come here to experience really chaotic duality things. And I always thank the very thing that made me move because without this, you'd still be doing the same thing. You'd still be getting a paycheck and you'd still be on the streets. And who knows where you would have been with your life and the dangers, right? That you put yourself in. So it's like this very thing, people get angry at like, government, Trudeau, all this. But I'm like, you guys, They're the villains in our movie to wake us up and to move us forward. So when we hate the thing that's helping us, it's basically we're entering into their frequency yet again. We are matching their same vibe. So I like what I always try to share and get out there is don't enter into that vortex. Rise above, take it for what it is, thank the very thing, thank them for being the movie and signing up to be that, to play the role. Someone's got to do it. Just like it was like you,
Sure.
right? You needed to do um what you needed to do. So now moving forward, you're in a position where you completely took your control back. You took your life back, and same with Jen. Like, kudos to both of you. That is like, fuck, I'm so proud of you guys and thankful and grateful that you're here to share your story and where you've overcome. And I'd love for you to share um where this has brought you and like more of um this redirection.
Yeah, no, it's like I said, I'm thankful and I'm blessed at this point now that we're sort of through like the crazy time where we'd come home every day from work and just bitch and think how fucked is this. Now it's like we've moved on while still
Yes.
not forgetting what happened,
Yes.
spreading our message still, with the brand or just with our voice, with just helping people fucking realize that, like, I'm one person that just woke up and I wore a uniform. That's it. I was one, and it's affected so many just because like they were so people felt so fucking alone
Yeah.
that they needed to like at least feel some sort of trust in police officers. Maybe like I know some have probably lost it a lot or a little bit of it, but like no, life is just so much fucking better now. Like we can wake up and take our kids to school every single day.
Yeah.
I can, unless one of us is busy, we pick them up at school every single day, right? At least one of us. Where before we had a nanny that basically was raising our kids
Yeah.
from, birth to 5 years old when we left. So we're definitely more
Crazy.
involved. Yeah, we're definitely more involved with our kids now. We see each other more. Like there's points where like Jen and I wouldn't see each other for like a week and a half, right? Her shift work, my shift work, like depended on what file I was working in terms of like targets, like bad guys. But yeah, no, we're always it's a good thing we like each other. Fuck, how bad would that be? Right. But
Shit.
yeah, exactly. But no, it's the opportunity that taking a stance will bring you is just like that's what I think hope everybody realizes. Like if you're like living in this fake life, like you leave your house and you're not even you because you have
Yeah.
to fucking, like you're surrounded by people who you are like you're afraid of them. Like they're surrounded by like bullies or fuck, what's the word for it? Like, you go out to a family gathering and you're just sitting there and you got to pretend you're someone else because you're afraid of, being yelled at by your uncle or your aunt or your parents. Like
Yeah.
for me, I sort of, maybe it's a weird thing, but like if you're my family by blood, it doesn't change how I'm going to act. I really don't give a fuck if I upset you. Like I'd rather you be you, me be me. And, then we're living in like a real world, not
You got it.
fakeness. Right.
Yeah. So let's talk about your okay, so you've left now. You're no longer a cop. You guys are both got your real estate license, so you're doing that. And then let's talk about your brand and how that all came about.
Yeah. So when I left and I did my Instagram post, there was a line in there where I said that I think it was freedom is non negotiable. Something's non negotiable. And this asshole reporter, like local reporter, did a hit piece on me, I'll say, because he called me and we spoke for like an hour and I gave him all the goods. I'm like, this is what's going on. Like in the hospital, this is from my wife. She checks the computers. The numbers aren't what they're saying. Like this is factual shit. And then the next day, an article comes out and the title is Non Negotiable Cop Resigns Over Mandates. But he took those two words from me, which I appreciate because I did use them, the words non negotiable, but the rest of the fucking article was just lies, complete
Of course.
bullshit. Oh, it was just such garbage. But it just, it never left my brain. I'm like, non-negotiable. I'm like, babe, fuck, there's something there. Like we're still fucking at this point. We're still living in mandates. I don't think we're even allowed to fly at this point still.
Yeah.
Or like, and it was within the year where I couldn't even bring my kids to the fucking arena.
Yeah.
So like everything's still fresh. We're still fighting. We're still using our voice. We still have a following. People appreciate that we're still speaking up. So I'm like, there's something here. Like people are still afraid to speak out. Maybe we should like create something that like they can be a part of because everyone's so fucking divided or scared to say something. And we're the ones that speak out, or one of the ones. So we just created non-negotiable brand, created the logo. That took a few weeks. And then as soon as their logo was created, we just shared it with a few of our really close friends who we trust. And they're like, holy fuck, do this. You're like, you got to do it. So we just made a hat, non-negotiable freedom hat and t-shirts. And then it just sort of fucking went boom. It's like, I can't believe how far it's gotten in such a short time. Like we haven't even been a year yet. No, I think
Wow.
we're in our 11th month. And it's not even, it was never about making money. It was really only ever about like, let's get people to support something that's going to help them. Let the people know. I always say that, let the people know.
Yeah.
Like you need to have your line in the sand on certain issues in society. And everyone should have those,
That's right.
whether it's the kid stuff, whether it's mandates, whether it's freedom, whether you could be pro-abortion, anti-abortion. I don't give a fuck. That's your business. And
Hmm.
if that is something that's yours, and that's something that's like
You're
you're
non-negotiable.
you're yeah, you are convicted in that. You're never changing your mind on this. Good. That's a good human, that's a good quality to have. I might disagree with you on certain things, but those are your fucking non-negotiables. Those aren't mine. Right?
Okay.
You do you. Live and let live, unless you're really fucking with kids or like hurting, stealing, or cheating. Really, I don't, you fucking do you. If you're an older person and you're 30 and you want to chop off your wiener and become a trans person, I don't give a fuck. Do you.
Yes.
Don't care. Right.
Yeah.
But like I think people take comfort in knowing that when there's like a hard pressed issue or something that's like hot button, and it's like most parents at school won't say that they're against any of this sex indoctrination in our schools. They're just afraid to say it because they'll be like, oh, we'll be painted as anti this, anti gay.
Right.
Right. Well, my brother is gay and completely supports every single thing that we say in
Yeah.
terms of being against this kid stuff.
The movement.
So yeah, there's
It's
just
just
a,
another fear tactic. Like this is what I share, right? It's this another villain. This is another opportunity to lower the frequency, put fear into people, opposed to saying, let everybody be as they need to be. Don't buy into the things, just like the same with the vaccinations, and focus on what's right and the best for you and your family and
yeah,
really stay present to that. And like you say, you're non negotiable.
yeah, and exactly right. Like, and I think it's what like we met at MYM. Obviously, I'm skipping ahead,
Yeah.
but we did a Kid Carson event in the city of Toronto. So we met a few hundred people. We were a little less known then.
Yeah.
Met Sarah Swain there, met a bunch of badass people, met John Porter there, Debbie. Um, but MYM, it was just sort of like it was bigger, it was longer, and I was hearing stories from people, and they were telling me how appreciative they were of what we were doing because it was like we were fighting for them still, and they trust us, and they were like hugging me and crying, and then I'm crying and
Aw.
fucking, and it's just like I'm like, okay. When we came home from that, I'm like, this is having so much more of an impact on people than I thought. In a good, like I'm like, holy fuck, this is way more important. And I think it's way bigger than we realized. Because at the start, it was just like, fuck you guys. We're pro freedom. Leave us the fuck alone. Let us go eat dinner at a restaurant.
Yeah.
Let us fly. But now it's like I think most companies like Nike, Under Armour, they will never say out loud that a trans female who was a dude should never, ever, ever compete against women in sports. They'll never say that. I'll fucking say it.
Yeah.
Like that should never ever fucking happen.
No,
Like our girls, like as men, we need to stand the fuck up for our women and our girls,
I just got goosebumps. Yeah.
right? Like fuck. And I said it again last week. Our men are failing right now as a whole. in speaking the fuck up. Like these are fucking babies,
Right.
right? Like, I know women who speak up and they don't even have kids.
Yeah.
Men won't even speak up who are fathers,
Yeah.
right? Because I've heard this too many times. Well, what if the teachers target my kid? Well, motherfucker, then you're gonna have a pretty loud conversation, aren't you?
Yeah.
Right? That you're gonna stick up for your kid, and you're gonna teach your kid to stick up for themselves,
That's right.
right? Like my
You need
7-year old,
to.
that's she's actually 8 today. So Riley's 8 today.
Oh, happy birthday.
Yeah, love it. She's so
So
funny.
good.
She has a spitting image of me. It's so funny. But like she has full permission on certain subjects that we've explained to her in a very innocent way. Like I'm like, right, you know how boys are sort of dumb sometimes. And you know what? If one ever accidentally comes in the bathroom at your school, just let me know, right? Or if teachers say things like, you know, boys can be girls or girls can be boys, you have my permission to tell them that is wrong. Call my dad, right? Like right off the bat, I don't. You have full permission to talk back if you need to.
Yeah.
Like there's
Just
certain
give you the
lines that,
confidence.
yeah, yeah. Like last year or 2 years ago, they tried to ban cartwheels on the playground. Fuck. I'm like, Rye, do all the cartwheels you want. If you get in trouble, you are okay. You are not in trouble at home. Don't worry about it. Do cartwheels. That's stupid, right?
What was the reasoning?
I don't know. Who knows? Some unathletic kid probably fell on their head. I don't know. Like it's just someone fell on their head. Oh, new rule, new rule, new rule. Like it's
But
like,
kids be kids.
yeah, like it's like when we ride our bikes to school and they're like, you got to get off your bike to cross the road. I'm like, why? Just fucking ride across the road. Do you know how to ride a bike? Yeah. Okay. Is there cross the guard? Yeah. There. Just ride across the road. Who's the fuck? Stupid rule.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm sort of like a rule breaker. If it's stupid, don't think it's a dumb rule,
Yeah.
right? Like, I'm like, wear a mask in a store. No, that's dumb. Not doing it.
Yeah.
Right.
I
Like
was the same.
yeah, like last week when I had to go get X-rays, they're like, wear a mask at the hospital. I'm like, nope, not wearing it. Well, you have to. No, I'm not doing it. Don't care. It's stupid. You guys
Yeah.
can wear your mask on your chin for the rest of the day. You look like an idiot, right? I'm not
Yeah.
doing it, right?
Yeah.
So I know everyone deep down believes mostly the same shit on a lot of hard subjects,
Yeah.
and I know that by wearing our stuff, especially like you hear people are like, hey, I saw someone. It's almost like a secret like fucking message, like a bat
It's a
signal.
code.
Like it's like, yeah, we're on the same page. And it's not like everyone has to be on the same page, but on these hard pressed issues that people, especially parents, are afraid to speak up on, like we're going to be one of the only like brands, or at least like in our line of what we're doing, that will speak up against it.
Yeah. And I love that because you're speaking your truth. And it's like it allows other people to feel seen and to feel heard and to then feel brave to be able to stay true to what their non-negotiable is.
Yeah. Exactly. And I love that. Like, I hope people build their confidence. You know, like there's there's a lady from my old work policing, and she wore one of the hoodies in headquarters, and she's like, Mike, it felt so fucking good. I'm like, yeah, right. Like I love it because
So
like
good.
they're in the government policing, you can't say shit. Like you're not allowed to say a fucking thing. If you say anything off color or joke, make a joke or whatever, they're gonna fuck you. It is so bad there. Everyone is a zombie walking around in that
Wow.
type of work. It's sad.
It's just like a
And,
robot, just muted.
oh, robot, everyone's fake. Not everyone, a lot of people are fake. It's such bullshit. It's so more unsafe than it needs to be based on politics, and it's just so shit. It's just like a lot of society. People walk around, they don't even fucking know what they're doing because they've been told how to think. Their fucking brains don't work.
You got it.
It's sad.
Just in a
I
box.
Yeah, I feel bad for people, you know.
But this is part of choices and part of waking up is there's a ripple effect. People are it's happening and it's getting bigger and bigger. And this was all part of the plan of what like my belief is. This is part of the plan. We needed this because the way that things were going, it wasn't working anymore. So we needed something catastrophic to really open our eyes.
Oh, big time. I've actually, when they started to like you guys should wear masks again. It's winter time. And I was like, okay, let's see what's going on. Like I'm actually surprised. A lot of people aren't. There's some are, but the mass majority are like, you guys are fucking idiots. We are done with your shit.
Yeah.
There are still some people wearing masks. I feel bad for them, right?
Yeah.
Their fucking critical thinking skills are gone. I
I
don't
just
know if
like,
they'll ever.
yeah.
Yeah, there's some people you just they're not coming back. They're gone. But
Yeah.
I'm
And
actually
just send them
pleasantly
love.
surprised. Yeah, yeah. But I think most have woken up, and I really do believe that the pushing of the drag queen reading to kids and the fucking books where they're talking about blowing each other, and it's in like books for like 7-year-olds. Like, these exist. No one can say they don't exist anymore. I've seen them with my own fucking eyes. I've seen them at the library in my town. I've posted pictures. People read them. They are out there, and people are hearing them being read. So people, like, you can't pretend that these fucking books or these sickos in dresses reading to children isn't happening.
Right.
And I'm going to say that 99% of parents are completely against this. They just are afraid to say anything because they're afraid to lose their job. They're afraid they'll lose friends. They're afraid that they'll lose family.
Yeah.
Where, like, maybe it's a blessing or a curse, but I don't give a fuck who I lose if I'm
Yeah.
being myself.
That's right.
Don't care,
That's
right?
right.
And just the winks I get from parents and the DMs I get from parents and the people who are finally just simply wearing our shit or speaking up, hopefully even in their own house, right? You don't have to be like me online or like you online, have a podcast, and not everyone's going to do that because it would just be there'd be too much of it. Just and then everyone's the same, and that's a fucking boring, weird world.
You got it.
But like, man, get your house in order. If you aren't talking to your young girls, that if some motherfucker boy walks in the change room, and if she doesn't think that's wrong, then you're not doing your fucking job, right?
Hmm.
Like it's crazy that I have to, create these demented scenarios for my daughter that if a boy comes into the change room, that it's fucking wrong, right? Because her principal is like huge into the whole fucking
Right.
nonsense. So I need her to be prepped in case it does happen. To fucking, it's cool. It's whatever happens, let me know
Yeah.
because that daddy's gonna come and talk to people, right?
Yeah.
Or Jen, right?
Totally. And I find like looking at this, even zooming out, what's being rewired for our children is the confidence and for them to not be put under the thumb, right? So we're kind of that leading role and that safe place for them to be able to say, well, yeah, that doesn't feel right for me, or that does feel right for me. And on the flip side, a child that may be questioning or going through their own thing, like I don't ever want to downplay that either, because we haven't experienced that. So we don't know. We have to have compassion for everybody, but at the same time, we have to respect our morals, our non-negotiables, and what we think is in the best for our kids. Because let's face it, we're making a lot of choices for our kids until they can make their own choices. And, with this vaccination, my son is not vaccinated even from birth. That was just, thankfully, I was just shown so much at a young age. So he isn't. And then when it came to, the vaccination and COVID, I was going through a separation. And I don't know if you knew this, but I was going to court and I was in a women's shelter and I was being told by my lawyers that I have to be vaccinated or my son's going to be taken from me.
That's so
So,
fucked up.
fuck, not only because I'm just like this sovereign being and my son's this sovereign being, now I have the ex using this as a tool for me against court. So now he's saying my son needs to be vaccinated all of a sudden. And this was something that we had decided for so long. So it was so brutal. I had a choice. I had get vaccinated, get a fake passport, vaccination passport, or trust. And I said, fuck it. I'm going to be sovereign and I'm going to trust. And I'm going to show
Yeah.
up and I'm going to say, I have not taken it, nor am I going to. If I absolutely have to for my son to be taken away from me, that's something that I'll look at that time. But man, was that terrible. Like those months being in that women's shelter. And then on top of it, the fact of like thinking my son could be taken from me. Then the fact him having to be vaccinated. So the court said that my son has to be vaccinated with every single vaccine and the COVID vaccination. So I left that. Thank God he said nothing about me. So I was totally good. But now I'm thinking of my son. And I know deep down the dad never wanted him to be vaccinated. This was just a ploy. So even though the judge has ruled him to be vaccinated, he's not vaccinated still because the dad never wanted that. It was never true for him.
Tactic,
But
which is
fuck
fucking greasy. That's greasy.
it.
That's
Holy
fuck. Yeah,
shit.
Jen and I had lots of conversations about like, and we would say, can you imagine that you and I disagreed about this? And I'm like, oh fuck. And obviously, like, I'm like, well, if we disagreed, you would have been the crazy one. And like, you know what I mean? So it's like, but no, like I feel terrible that you had to go through. That's fucked. Like our son or our kids have up to, I don't know, whatever the fucking stupid schedule is, a certain number of them. And I feel sick that we did that to them. They're fine, but fuck, man, Russian roulette. A lot of kids aren't,
Yeah,
right? Right. Where was autism in the 60s? Non-existent,
exactly.
right? Like fucking, it's, yeah, it's so fucked up.
It's
But again,
another,
like,
go ahead.
yeah, it's just like you do whatever you do with your family. Like, again, you can't save the world. Like there was points where Jen would come home from work and she wanted to like adopt a kid from her peds unit because the parents were crackheads. Can't
I
save
bet.
everybody,
I
right? You
get.
can't save everybody. It's a shitty world sometimes, and take care of your own house and
Yeah.
mind your fucking business, right?
Yeah.
And on certain issues, I think everyone needs to speak up, but I just want it to be like how they actually feel, not like society's pressured them to fucking put a fucking country flag on their car because fucking they tell you that we should love Ukraine, right?
Yeah.
Like it's like use your fucking own brain, right?
Exactly.
Like this
Yes.
new one, I'm like, this seems really shitty. But if the media is telling me to be pro this country, right away, I'm like, I don't know. But this country's like, I'm like, and after a while, I'm like, this isn't even my fucking business. I'm like, I'm here in
Exactly.
Canada. Canada's fucked, right? Like,
Yeah.
I feel bad for innocent people, and that's
Of
where
course.
my opinion on these ones stop because I don't trust a fucking thing that's on TV. I don't unless I've seen it with my own eyes. I don't know what's going on.
I'm like you. And Mike, thank you for saying that because people, yet again, are buying into so much. And I can't say that this isn't 100% happening or it isn't. I can't. And that's why I don't have a lot to say on it. I just want people to question and look deeper with
For
everything
sure.
in their life.
Yeah.
And
Oh yeah.
it's
Even
like,
us, like
yeah,
I've said, like in my own pod, I'm like, don't trust that. Like I'm gonna say my opinion. I'm gonna give my opinion. I'm gonna give some facts that I have learned myself. Fucking research it yourself. You don't have to trust. Like some people trust me right off the board. Well, use your own fucking brain,
yeah,
right? Like
use your discernment.
yeah, yeah. Like there's some people who I fully trust, and I've known them for a while, and I know that what they're doing is truthful. But there's like you just don't trust everybody right off the bat, especially
Yeah,
now. Holy fuck, we've been lied to for the last 3 years,
exactly.
right? Or well, many years. We just didn't realize it.
Yeah. And it doesn't mean that, anything we're saying is going to be true for everybody. And there's going to be some points that people are going to, it's going to really land. And that this is our message is be you, be authentic to you, what feels right for you and your family. And whether that is vaccination or not, that's your choice. That's the beautiful thing about what we're trying to do is spread the message of your body, your choice. You
Yeah,
choose in whatever that
absolutely.
looks like.
Yeah, and it's funny. Like you'll see the right eat their own, like just as bad as the left sometimes. And like for me personally, I am against abortion. I'm against it. But you'll have some people who are like so far against it that they can't even have a conversation with someone about, well, what if a girl's molested by their uncle and is pregnant? If you can't even have the conversation, be like, oh, that's fucked up, man. Man, maybe she should. I don't fucking that's like
Yeah.
not for me to say, right?
Yeah.
But like I am pro life. I'm
Right.
against people having like if you've had 10 abortions, fucking get your shit together.
Exactly. Like, come on.
Like again, like this is just my opinion. But if you can't have a conversation with people who are like, well, I'm sort of for it and against it, okay, well, cool. Like that's you, right?
Yeah.
Like I think pedophiles once caught should be tortured to death. Like fucking in like center of the city of Toronto, like hung from a fucking bridge, so that it sends a message to the rest of them. I am pro death penalty. If it's like
Yeah.
100% found committing fucking DNA, I believe certain people should be fucking tortured to death. That doesn't mean that everyone has to agree with me. That's me. That's my own fucking
Yeah.
opinion. Right? Cool.
Yeah.
Right? Like there are certain like hardline stances that I think everyone should have. It's
Yeah.
not just fucking, oh, Mike, you're so fucking opinionated. Fucking right, I am. You should be too. Right. But
Yeah.
we should be able to have the respect to like, okay, you don't think that we should torture pedophiles. Okay,
Hmm.
cool. I, okay, awesome. Great. Like, what the fuck? Right. It's
Yeah.
like people get so fucking offended. And yet now you see online, it's like all these people that agreed with mandate stuff. Now they're all yelling at each other over fucking Palestine versus fucking Israel. And it's just like, guys, like
Right.
fucking now they got you motherfuckers fighting. So it was
Another
like
distraction.
it was two teams. Now they got the other one cut in half. You're all fucking yelling at each other online. And it's like none of you are gonna go fight this war. So fucking you can be sad for innocent people, but you don't have to fucking pretend you're a warrior when you're
Yeah.
a bunch of pussies and we know it, right? Like there's not many dudes that I know with fucking balls that are ready to go fuck shit up and go
Yeah.
fight wars and go put their life in the line. There's a
Yeah.
couple. There's not many,
Yeah.
right? So take a step back. Let's all fucking get along the best we
Yeah.
can, right? We'll kill the
Yeah.
pedophiles, right? Like, you know what I mean? I'm so fired up with this kid stuff
Yeah.
lately. I'm just
I know.
like, I'm so fucking fired up because now as a father, I'm like, this is so fucked up. Like, what are they
Yeah.
doing? They're coming after our kids. They're gonna make fucking consent not even a thing. Like, they're gonna make it so that fucking pedophiles is legal. I'm convinced it doesn't make it. That's the direction we're going. And the only thing I can think is that the most powerful people on earth are sexual predators. A lot of them. It's the only thing that can make sense of it.
Well, and another thing, Mike, is how far can we push, right? How far can we push people? And
Yeah.
it's like the experiment. You got to think about as we go down the line. And then that's why, too, I try to tell people, like, even with Justin, for instance, or like all these other people, they're not the ones in charge anyway. So it's like people are putting so much hate to very low bottom feeders.
Oh yeah.
And you got to think bigger. But then at the same time, I also say to people, just don't buy into it. So do your best to not, when you're so angry, and I talk about this with Tiffany all the time. And when you're so fucking mad, you're holding on to a burning hot coal in your hand, expecting to burn them, but you're burning yourself.
Mm.
So I try to tell people, like, be mindful of that energy. Use that energy, put it into love about your kids, your family, your following, your podcast. And it's like, we say to my son, he plays hockey. He's amazing. And it's like somebody pushes him or something. You get back at them, and not even back at them, but you go and you get your goal or put your energy towards your prize, because this is another distraction. The sex stuff, the war stuff, distract, distract, distract. How can we lower people's vibration and frequency? And anger, honestly, Mike, is like the lowest. And it's like so low. So, yes, use that fuel as your ammunition to make your brand and to be so fucking badass and independent and thrive and fuel yourself in that way.
I love that you said that because it's funny. Sarah Swain, she's helping us out now, and she's like, before I met you, Mike, because I get fired up when I talk about some of this stuff, but it's probably unintentionally. Well, it is unintentional. Like I'm firing up everyone else, right? Who's also on the same fucking page. So I'm trying my best, and it's a fucking struggle because I get fired up sometimes, but like I know that everyone or mostly feel the same way. So let's just fucking do it. Like
Yeah.
eventually all you're gonna see is that everywhere. And it's gonna mean protect our kids. And we're gonna fucking kibosh. They'll be like, oh, it's a right wing extremist fucking this, nah, right? Well, we all know that's fucking horse shit, right? So like you're right, like we gotta build it in a way more positive way because
Yeah.
I think like I come across fucking fired up sometimes which is just like
It's
I was saying,
it's good
it's like
though. It's good.
it's good, but I can channel it a little bit. I think,
You're
right?
you're so passionate, Mike, and it's beautiful because you came here, you got all the tools that you needed from every single thing from your dad, from your work, and now you're here and it's like you've got this thing that you're just unleashing and you're just breaking through the first ceiling and you're just going to keep going. So that's why we're all here. This part of me, the spiritual side or the healer side, that's where I'm like, hey, add this tool in. And you're like, hey, Kristen, take a stand for what you believe in. And that piece helps me because there are things in my life right now that I'm moving through that are non-negotiables. And that I'm like, wait a minute, I don't need to sign this. I don't need to just dim that little belief or that feeling to fucking get a job done. I can take a stand. I'm taking a stand. So that's how beautiful this exchange is we can give each other so much to help us for the grand goal, this peace and having freedom and to be able to think for yourself.
No, I love it. It's it's fun. It's crazy.
It is fun. It is
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah. Most of the time it's fun. But like I said, like I like that you said the whole like they bring down your vibration and it's like they get me sometimes, right? Jen's like, get the fuck off your phone. Or she's
Yeah.
like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm fucking hammered. She can tell it's like an excited text or one where I'm like really fucking into it. She's like, don't post that. Fucking stop it.
Yeah.
Right. Sometimes I listen, sometimes I don't.
Yeah.
But yeah, step back, even like I get caught up sometimes too, man. Shit.
Yeah.
But like for the most part, like, I've been told like in the last few months, like I came across like super aggressive, fired up. That I wasn't a happy person, and my friends are like, we talk about like you're always smiling. I'm like, well, some people don't see that online. Like I met everyone at NYM, they're like, holy fuck, you're actually fucking happy, dude. Right?
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, what the fuck you talking about? They're like, and then like I like when people are blunt with me. They're like, dude, like I didn't know that from just your online stuff,
Yeah.
right? And I thought I was being authentic, and that's just more.
Mm,
I'm not afraid. I'm
that's
not
right.
afraid to say what the fuck needs to be said, but you're also not seeing the happy side of me,
That's
right?
right.
So that's like again, like I'm like, oh fuck, I guess I got to work on that too,
And
right?
it's balance. It's like me being one side of, spiritual and all this sort of shit, but then also being a human and experiencing the earthly things. And we just have to balance. And then
Yeah,
showing people your heart. You've got a huge heart. That's what your front is that, this strong, tough, I say what I want to say, but deep down inside, there's this very large, soft heart that you care so much. This is why you're doing what you're doing.
it's true. Yeah,
It's true.
yeah. No,
And that,
it's yeah,
I was going to say, like, going back to how we met, it's so cool because Sarah made us all switch spots and we wouldn't have done that. We talked about this before we started recording. And I was like, I wouldn't have had an opportunity to meet you and Jen, and I wouldn't have learned your story and then been in this moment. So Sarah made us all, we're at the VIP workshop and Mike and Jen are there, Tiffany and I. Of course, we're sitting together. You guys are sitting over there. And Sarah's like, okay, everybody move. If you know who you're sitting beside, it's time to move. So we did. And then you end up sitting right across from me. Right.
yep, yep.
And then we had to do some exercises. We sang together.
That was so fucking funny.
That was dope. I was like, I
Yeah,
like this. I want to sing
yeah,
more.
yeah. Right the
Um,
fuck out of our comfort zones for sure.
Yeah. And it was like you guys, you had you and Kaylor and what was the
Danny,
other, pardon?
Daniel Bulford,
Yeah,
the other cop. Yeah.
Daniel. And then we
Yeah.
had the ladies. Anyway, this is how we met. It was in Calgary. I got to learn about non-negotiable brand. And I do also want to say your guys's hoodie, the one with the gun and it says
Oh yeah.
line in the sand. Are you wearing it? Thank you. I was going to ask you, I'm like, I think you're wearing it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's so badass because even your logo, like what made you guys think of the two ends
The
like
ends.
that with the line?
So
Yeah.
I knew it had to be like, so just non-negotiable, not the brand, but because that was decided much later. But I was fucking around with ends, like like syncing ends. I just went to this website where you could just play with letters and like line them up all different angles, different I was doing it with capital N's the entire time,
Okay.
and like, but putting them together looked too much like the New York Yankees logo, and it wasn't catching my eye. And then I fucking messed around with like those are lowercase N's, right?
Okay.
And then that angle I created, I'm like, holy shit, it looks like a gladiator helmet,
Yeah.
right? So, and I'm like,
Yeah.
fucking, I think that's it. And as soon as I had a couple buddies and friends were like, that's what you're doing. I'm like, okay, that's it. But yeah,
It's so badass. And even that's the line, like there's the line right in the center.
yes, yeah, yeah. I heard someone else said that to me too. I think that was was that you at MYM? Someone
It
told
was,
me that.
you're
Yeah,
like, it was you
yeah,
again. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. It could have been you, but
It was
no,
me.
yeah. All the design stuff we do, um, it's all us, which I love because and it's hard because we're so fucking busy now. So like we're asking for help now. We may have to hire some people. Who
Yeah.
knows how big it's gonna go? Like the goals have changed
Yeah.
big time.
Yeah.
But um yeah, everything that we make is from us. Like the brand is from our moral compass and our beliefs. And if you believe the same shit, wicked man, let's fucking join the party. Because
Yeah.
I truly, truly believe that 80% to 90% of the world really just wants to be happy,
Yeah.
feel safe, have friends and family, trust the fucking people around you. And I know that like from the foundation that Jen and I have, our marriage, our kids, the company, like people know that we're not bending the knee to anything.
Yeah.
And I don't care if people come after me. I don't care if they go after my real estate license. I don't care what happens. I don't care if someone fires me. Like I don't give a fuck what anyone says. We are not changing for any reason
That's
ever.
right.
And people feel safe. I believe wearing our stuff because they know that
Yeah.
we ain't changing. So when you see it, like Under Armour to me used to be like that patriotic for the like the veterans, for police. If it was meant for good, but then they fucking mandated everything. Fuck their employees. Like
Yeah.
it was awkward going into the store. So I'm like, you guys are just as fucking bad as Nike, right? So we're not doing that.
No. And I love that. And I love what you guys have such a solid team. The two of you, you can just feel it. You're so grounded and you guys have such a beautiful relationship. And yeah, Tiffany and I love everything about you guys. And I'm so
Thank you.
grateful that we've been able to connect and stay connected since the show. I know there's going to be much more to come. That's just what's happening. We're all here to move mountains and be a team and to thrive and to really step into our purpose of who we came here to be. I do want to share though a little bit. I just want to be mindful of your time too, because I know you have to pick up your daughter from school, right?
I'm good. I got another 20 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's talk about so it was last week, correct? Last Wednesday. We had scheduled to have Mike on the show. And then it was like early morning because we're on a time difference. And you're
Yeah.
thinking, shit,
Oh,
I'll
I
let you
was
tell
all
the
fucked up.
story.
Yeah, I was all fucked up. So we're Jen's starting I'll say we'll say a new nursing venture at our house. I'll let
Ooh,
her do that surprise. So we're ripping out the carpet in the basement. It's actually funny. That's something where you should wear a mask. I think masks are fucking stupid. Pulling out carpet in your basement that's like probably 20 years old, you should wear a mask. So I did that without a mask. Probably swallowed a bunch of dust, breathed in
shit.
a bunch of dust. So I couldn't like I was coughing, couldn't fuck. I didn't sound right. I was coughing up garbage, and yeah. So obviously our show was delayed last week, and I ended up at the hospital and pissed them off because I refused to wear a mask. But which is hilarious because I should have been wearing one in my own house, but I just don't play that game anymore. And then
Yeah.
yeah, so I let you know, and you left me a voice note on what to do, which involved putting onions on my feet,
Yeah.
right? So I made Jen do that, which is hilarious.
It is
Yeah.
hilarious.
Yeah. but it worked. Like the phlegmy shit or it's sort of gross, but yeah, like I felt better after doing it. It's definitely interesting,
It's
right?
interesting.
But
And
yeah,
you've got a little clip. Let's show you a little clip
yeah,
of putting up.
yeah,
And here you are, this like, badass macho dude, like man's man. And
yeah.
you're just
There it
like,
is.
I'm so proud of you for taking that advice. So what I told him to do is put onions on the bottom of his feet because
Where's
onions
the
draw
picture?
it out.
If I do this, can you see that? So
Yes.
that's the picture. But one sec here. I don't know if you'd be able to hear it from there.
Let's see. Let's see. Put your mic up. Put it up a little bit higher. There we go. Yes. Yes, Jen. Look at you. Just she's so awesome. She's like, I'm here for it.
Yeah, yeah.
So he put onions on his feet, and then you put a plastic bag around them and you sleep with the onions. And whether you have chest congestion, anything that you have going on in your body, onions just draw. And we have thousands of pores in the bottom of our feet, and it will just draw it out. And you want to continue to do it and leave it on as long as you can. And then a side note, you can even just put a raw onion beside your bed, and that will help draw it out in your kids' room if they're going through something. And then something even better, I'll just share with you guys, instead of all these antibiotics and all these things, Mother Earth puts so much here for us. Just do an onion and put garlic and some honey in like a mason jar, let it sit for 45 minutes, and then use the what would you call it? The droppings, I guess. The liquid, and take that every day. And there's your antibiotic. And you're gonna just kill any sort of bacteria in your body. Onions
It's
are
awesome.
badass for that.
That's awesome. Yeah, no, it was funny. It was funny. I'm like, babe, you got to put onions on my feet. So she listened to your voice note too. She's like, holy fuck. Right.
Yeah.
But oh, no, it's funny.
I'm so
I
proud of you for doing it.
no, thanks.
Like seriously, some people
Yeah.
wouldn't do that. Some people would be like, thanks for the tip, but they didn't actually follow through. But you follow through. That's badass.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nice work.
No, it's good. There's definitely, I was always like, I like take out Tylenol or Advil or whatever. I just don't trust the whole system now.
Yeah.
I think it's created to keep us sick.
Yeah.
And, so there's definitely use, like I've had surgeries for like broken bones, and there's like things that you need to help people. But I think there's a lot of it that's just meant to fucking ruin people because it just seems
Yeah.
like that's
It's
what's
true.
happening.
It's true. And that's why a lot of my teachings, I just help people with your day to day, like your heavy metal detox smoothie or celery juice. Like there's things you can do every day that boost your immune system. Quercetin, everybody, whoever's watching, get on quercetin, especially this time of the year, boost your immune system. Milk thistle, like the list goes on and on. We have so many things here that are here to help us. Um, and that is not going to suppress our immune system. Like you say, the Tylenol, the Advils, I don't take any of that stuff. It's not even here. And
That's good.
one more thing, Mike, is I was telling you before, I was like, you also got sick too, because you probably were doing a lot and you needed to kind of just chill, and our body communicates with us. And sometimes I get a massive headache and I know I've done too much. I've just got to rest, unplug from life, and let my body heal. We're all constantly in our masculine go, go, go. So we gotta chill out in the feminine for a little bit.
That's true. That's true.
It
Yeah,
is true.
it's definitely been crazy since MY. Like it's been mental. Like just the real estate's still been busy for us. Thank God. That's what
Yeah.
at least feeds the kids for now.
Yeah.
And then just trying to keep up with
Non-negotiable.
non-negotiables. It's been fucking nuts in a really good way. Where it's
Yeah.
like, all right, I think this is going to be different than what we thought.
Yeah.
Right. At first, it was just like, yeah, let's have some fun. Right. It's still fun, but I think
It is.
it means more to people than we ever realized,
It's growing
which is
into an
awesome.
empire. Yeah. And for all of you guys watching and listening, make sure you go and support and get your swag. They have beautiful gear, very good quality. Um, it's badass. Everything about you guys, it's representing you. It's representing your vision, your beliefs. It's so much more than just a swag, like a swag line. And then you
I
also have
know.
your podcast.
Yeah, so that's that. I had John Porter on Saturday. Him and Deb came over. That was fun. We're ramping that
Awesome.
back up because I didn't do one all summer. I did quick five last or before the summer, and then I did. I guess I just didn't realize how much more important or how important it was to like continue that because like it's got to be on the priority list of at least because eventually, fuck, we may not even be allowed to do this. They'll fucking come shoot us or just not put us on the internet. Like it's so fucked,
Well, not in
right?
our
Like,
world. It's not, we
yeah,
create our reality. So, Mike, in our
yeah.
world, that's not happening.
Oh no, I'm never
We
gonna
will,
stop. It's
no,
it's but it's what's tough is like I don't know what your Instagram's like, but if there's a hot button topic certain hours of the day, I can't even tag people.
right.
People like I am so shadow banned at certain times, or I can't find people, or I can't like. There's people who I haven't seen come go across my page in a long time because they're also shadow banned.
That's
So
right.
like they're fucking with us without us even really knowing that they're fucking with us. So like I'm not registering my podcast. I'm not doing anything they ask me to do if it's stupid. Like I'm
Exactly.
done. These games I'm done. We'll just keep doing what we're doing. And if they all of a sudden there's no Spotify or whatever people use, then we'll just fucking create another one. I don't know.
That's right.
Someone way smarter than me that I'll rely on that techie
We'll,
person,
we'll, we'll let Sarah
right?
handle that.
Yeah, but
Sarah.
like again, like as long as we all just give a collective fuck you, we're not doing anything that's stupid anymore, right? Like I'm done. I'm done following rules, and and that's why like I think most people inside they're like, this is so stupid. All this is so fucking stupid, right?
Yeah.
Like all this stuff we disagree with. Like and like I like how you brought up like the merch. So the protector hoodie, by far, by far our most popular hoodie, and we almost didn't make that or bring it to MYM because we weren't sure if we had enough room. We're like, oh fuck, what if we bring too much and whatever, and like that one resonates with the ladies, and that's why we put the bear and the three cubs in the mountains
Yeah.
because no one is more ferocious than a mama bear when someone fucks with their cubs, right?
Yeah.
But we named it Protector purposely for the ladies that don't have kids or can't have kids that are still fighting for our kids. But
Wow.
like that's why that hoodie exists, right?
Beautiful.
And it's the message. And that one, like without even we're like, holy fuck, that one was really good, and it worked out, and I'm glad. And like you could see how like the women are like, what does it mean? Fuck yeah, put it on,
It's
right?
like, no, yeah, non-negotiable.
Yeah,
Let me rep that.
yeah. No, more than the rifle hoodie. More like that's by far the
I
most
believe it.
popular thing, right?
I
Because it
believe it.
resonates with the like recent past and moms fighting, right? Hint, hint, dads, grow some
Hint,
fucking
hint, nudge,
balls,
nudge. Yeah.
right? Let's
Yeah.
go, boys,
Let's go. Let's
right?
call them out. This is it.
Yeah, you gotta.
Amazing. I love everything. This has been so badass, so fire. I did ask you if I could pull a card. This is how I love to end the show and get a little message for you before we sign off. You down?
Awesome. Yep,
Thank
I'm
you
down.
for being open. Okay, let's get a message for Mike for his highest and best interests and good. Whatever needs to come through to please come through. And I just let the cards fall out. So let's see what is for you. And this is cool. You've never ever had a card pulled before, ever.
Never.
Well, I feel honored.
Awesome.
This is exciting. Are you have anything fun planned for your daughter's birthday for today, or is she having her party on the weekend?
Jen's in charge of all that stuff.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna lie, but yeah. So party Saturday, and I think a bunch of girls are coming over to jump in the hot tub and maybe into the freezing pool after school.
awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, fuck, you can't make this shit up. I am so, ugh. Okay, this is the card that he received, and it says, take control of the situation. We know you can do this. Wow. And that's card number 3. And I'm going to read a little bit different. And here it is. It's like, there's the wheel, right? There's the wheel. You take control of your life and continue to do exactly what you're doing because what you're doing is so badass. It
Yeah.
says,
Thank you.
you're so welcome. And this is coming from your loved ones that are not here. Here we go. Stay strong. Inside, you have everything you need to make it happen. The skills are already yours. Your loved ones are saying, stand your ground. You can handle this. We are here to help.
Thank you. That's
Badass.
cool.
That
Yeah,
is
that's
fucking
cool.
cool. You've got a team.
Yeah.
Don't forever forget, everybody watching, Mike, you included, it's like we have a team and an army in the invisible realm that are here for us. So ask for help. Don't think that you can just receive it, and don't think that you're here alone. We have so much help. We just have to be aware of it because it's everywhere.
Believe it.
Yeah. And we've got a
Yeah.
lot of foot soldiers. Like, look at us. We're all here, truth seekers, leading the way. We've got each other.
There are hundreds and thousands, not even that, it's millions, many, many, many fucking millions. And I truly believe that to my core, or we wouldn't be doing this because we would believe we're the minority. And we are so fucking not that.
You got it.
Like there's a lot of people fence sitting right now that are gonna fall on our side of the fence, and it's gonna be beautiful.
New Earth. We're creating New Earth. This is it.
Yeah.
We're the cleanup crew. This is what we always say: cleanup crew, New Earth. We're here.
Yeah.
So, seriously, say hello to Jen, give her a big hug. And I'm hopeful. Are you guys going to be at the next MYM? Obviously.
Oh yeah. She's like,
All this.
did we have to upgrade our hotel room to like the highest one? I'm like, yes. The fuck.
Of
Right?
course.
Yeah. And the high floor too. I paid for all the shit. I saw it. I'm like, done, done, done.
Good
We'll,
for
we'll be
you.
there. We're
Yeah.
bringing all the shit. I can't fucking wait. That vibe
Yes.
was like so fucking cool.
It
Right?
look at the rippling effect. Look at our team. Look at our community now. So
Yeah.
grateful for us for answering the call, for Sarah, for everybody.
Yeah. So
Badass.
it's so good. Like after
Oh,
that, I was smiling ear to ear for fucking days.
yeah.
Right? No,
Yeah.
very cool.
So awesome. Thank you for your time. Thank you for being on Raw Babes. We appreciate you so much. And I'll put all of your information in the show notes, your guys' website. I don't know. You want to just tell people now your website and your Instagram?
Yeah, so it's just non-negotiable.brand for Instagram and non-negotiable brand.com with hyphens, two hyphens between non-negotiable and non-negotiable brand. Yeah. Two hyphens.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Amazing. Thank you so much. And thank you guys for tuning in and for watching us. And we hope you can take some badass power away from this. We're sending you guys so much love, so much energy. Thank you again, Mike.
So yeah, thank you.
Yes.